Good evening, or good afternoon, whatever the case may be. I'm told I have a good reading voice, and I've written lots of short stories as well as two novels, so I'm going to try reading online, just see where I go with this. First of all, the length. My flash fiction are about 1,000 words, so they're maybe 6 or 7 minutes long. So, do just one story at a time, or 30 minutes worth? My two novels, they're over 50,000 words, so that'd be several sessions. Or I could read from the classics, be it Dickens or Grimm's fairy tales. As for format, initially I'll use my Twitch streaming setup. It's just a headset, and I just export as usual to YouTube. What do I use for visuals? Do I use a webcam of me reading, or just a static photo that relates to the story, or a slideshow of images? And long term, well, get a better mic and use something like Audacity to record and edit and tidy it up. And choose an online home for that. And where do I start? SoundCloud, or stay on YouTube, or put them up on my blog as a link, or get into podcasts. Set up a schedule, and monetize. I don't know, do I bother? On Twitch, people pay to subscribe to my channel, and YouTube, well, you need lots and lots of followers, and then you can run ads. Amazon Audible Books, you need to use their ACX thing. It's only available in the US. So my first story, I'm just going to take a recent flash fiction via Twitch right through, so pardon any stumbles. It's just a trial. I'll try not to sneeze or cough. A Touch of Magic. I wrote this on September 15th, and more info is at my blog, mike-young.ca. The prompt for this had three components: a genre, a location, and an item. This was a part of a contest. I was assigned fantasy, an antique shop, and a goldfish. Oh, A Touch of Magic. Pippin wanted to do some magic now, not in 6 months. Dagmar, cover for me while I sneak into town. I want to check out the antique shop. Eldermar's Emporium, antiquities, curiosities, and mysteries. I bet they have all sorts of magical items. His friend shook his head. Don't do it. We're supposed to stay in the dorm until we learn to control our talent. I'll be careful, don't worry. I just have to check it out. My uncle said I had real talent. That's why he brought me to the academy. Maybe I'll find a magic wand, or a book of spells. Please? Dagmar frowned. Spells? A wand? Are you crazy? Look, your uncle is right downstairs, talking to the headmaster. What if he comes back up here? Oh, he won't, Dag. He's already said his goodbyes and maybe promised to be good and study hard. I'll be back in an hour, tops. Well, nothing will happen. I just have to try one tiny little spell, please? Well, maybe one of his talents was persuading people, because 10 minutes later, Pip was carefully pushing open the door of Eldermar's. The Emporium was jam-packed with dusty books, murky jars, mysterious devices, stuffed birds and animals, all carelessly piled on tables, under tables, cluttering the aisles, stacked on shelves and cabinets up to the ceiling, even hanging from the ceiling. Sun streamed through an open window, but did little to dispel the gloom, or the smell of spices, herbs, mold, a hint of sulfur, and fish. Definitely fish. The shopkeeper, Eldemar, was an ancient gnome with rounded shoulders, wispy white hair, and a large bulbous nose. He sat perched on a stool behind the back counter, carefully peeling the scales from his lunch. He peered over his glasses at Pippin. Can I help you? Oh, just looking, sir. The gnome shook his head. Just looking. Keep your hands in your pockets. Pippin could feel a faint sizzle in the air, a tingling. The hair on his arm stood up as he approached the nearest table. An old leather-bound volume glowed faintly, as a flickering blue light traced the runes on its cover. He glanced at the shopkeeper, busy with his lunch again, nibbling on a fish head while trying to elbow aside a scrawny yellow cat. As Pippin reached for the book, there was a snap as a long blue spark jumped to his fingertips, rushed up his arm, then disappeared. He had to have this book. He took a deep breath. If only he had some gold coins. There was a tingle, then a flash so bright he had to close his eyes. When he opened them, there was his gold. A gold fish, swimming serenely inside a glass globe balanced on top of the book. Not quite what he wanted, but he'd done his first spell. Maybe the shopkeeper's lunch had distracted him and kept him from focusing. "You there, boy, what have you done?" "Oh, nothing, sir. Just admiring this goldfish." "Well, you did something. Don't lie to me." Eldemar peered over the counter, then turned to his cat. "Hermione, I don't have a goldfish, do I? Is it a pretty one?" Pippin smiled. Maybe he could trade the fish for something in the store. He wiggled his fingers experimentally. There was a crackle and a smell of ozone as a spark leaped between them. Just one more try. Focus and create some real gold. The cat jumped down from the counter, pattered across the dusty floor, and leapt onto the table. Hermione glanced at Pippin, then peered in at the fish. Her tail twitched. With a swipe of a paw, she sent the globe rolling across the book. Pippin grabbed the globe with one hand and the cat with the other. "No, you don't. That's mine." There was another tingle and a flash, and he was holding a gold cat, frozen with its sharp claws reaching for his hand. And not just a golden-colored cat either. Judging by the weight, it was solid gold. Luckily enough to buy the whole shop. "Magic! I can do magic! Real magic!" The shopkeeper scurried across the floor, waving a very large cleaver over his head. "Magic? Well, I knew it. Damn apprentices! What have you done to my Hermione?" Pippin stepped back and raised an arm in reflex. "Not gold, not gold, not gold," he muttered. Another tingle, another flash. Eldemar was frozen in place, cleaver raised, eyebrows bristling, teeth bared. He was not gold, just a dull gray metal. "Oh, by the gods, I didn't mean it." Pippin backed towards the shop door. "I meant to be careful. How do I undo all this?" This time he could feel the heat from the flash. Once again, he carefully pushed open the door and stepped in. Same smells, same piled-up junk, same tingling. The shopkeeper was picking at his lunch while Hermione licked a paw. He should leave. The old leather book was glowing again. Pippin shook his head. "No way, not again." There was a faint pull from the book as pretty blue flames danced over the cover. Maybe just one step closer? Oh no, he couldn't. He wouldn't. He watched as one foot slowly extended itself. A heavy hand fell on his shoulder. "Don't do it, nephew. In this case, practice won't make perfect." As Pippin turned, his uncle swirled a heavy cape right over him. He staggered under the weight. It felt like chain mail, but the tingling, the pull of the book, all was gone. "Oh, Uncle, I'm sorry, you were right. I did one little spell, and it was so easy and almost worked, and then there was another and another." His uncle patted his shoulder through the heavy cloak. "I know. It's all right. Dagmar told me where you'd gone right after I threatened to turn him into a toad. It's back to school for you, but now with some wards to ensure that you and Dagmar stay there." The end. So, let me know what you think, and any ideas on where I go with this.